I took a stroll downtown this evening when I heard music echo through the night. So I started running so I wouldn't be too late. In the neon light, what the music could reveal through the night.
Welcome everyone to Coaching the Session. My name is Michael Rearden and I'll be your mindset coach today. And today we're going to be talking about what it means to have wellness in our body and our mind. So I brought in a guest host. We're going to have Rachel Katz come on, and she's going to join us in a conversation on finding a better life, finding a better you. And sometimes we have to understand that that journey is not going to be as easy as, okay, I'm not going to have any hardships. I'm not going to have any failures, because that is what makes us, right? That makes us human. That makes us prominent in our days, meaning I know I'm going to have challenge, so I rise to that challenge. The people who shy away from that challenge are going to have the most difficult times because they're trying to not be more than what they are. But in life, we have to grow. And if we don't grow, then the world around us grows, and then we just become smaller in the sense of we should be equal and we should be prominent also, but we're making ourselves not prominent. The interview with Rachel and I, we are going to be talking about how you can encompass your whole and total wellness from your body to your mind into the change that you want to seek. She is the host of The Full Life. She has a podcast that mainly helps women, but men are going to be able to get something from this too, because sometimes a soft, caring touch can be what we need. Not saying that we can't be brute and forceful, but at the same time, there's going to be a balance that we have to have, and we have to make sure that once we have that balance, we keep it, in the sense of we don't keep it because we're trying to hold on to it. We try to maintain it so we can maintain that lifestyle that we want in the end, but then we can also choose to go after more later because we are ready for it. So let's get into that interview with Rachel and myself. Welcome, Rachel Katz, to Coaching the Session. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you for having me.
So you do a lot. You have a podcast, you do coaching, healing, you are a yoga teacher. You have done so much, but in your own words, can you tell the world what you do, what you have done?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm a nutritional scientist and a wellness embodiment coach and a yoga teacher and a podcast host and founder of my brand, The Full Life. And I created my brand a couple of years ago with that idea in mind to really help women specifically live a full life. And to me, that means living life to your fullest potential, reaching your fullest potential and manifesting the life of your dreams while also having a full and happy tummy and always having nourishing foods in your body. And yeah, that's kind of the idea behind my brand.
And what was the reason that you said, I wanted to build this brand? I want to help women get to a better life, a fuller life.
Yeah, it kind of stems from my own journey and just my own past. In the past, I definitely was not living my most full life. I would say, honestly, most of my life, I was anxious, depressed, didn't have high self-esteem, didn't really love myself, and was just always searching for more, but didn't really know how to get there. In high school, I ended up developing an eating disorder because I had very negative, body image, and I had a really unhealthy relationship with food that developed. And then my first year of college, I started to really heal from my disordered eating. And I, at this point, still was really struggling with my mental health. I had horrible OCD and anxiety, and it was almost pretty much debilitating. And I knew that there had to be another way. I knew that life wasn't meant to be like this. And that's when I really started to study nutrition and learn about the power of foods to heal us, not only on a physical level, but a mind, body, and soul level. So I took my first nutrition class in college. I fell in love and I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And the farther along I went on my journey, I just discovered more and more parts of wellness because, again, it's not just about nutrition. You know, we could be eating the healthiest diet in the world, but if we're holding on to past trauma, if we don't love ourselves, if we're not following our purpose, we're still going to feel like shit, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it was around this time I also discovered yoga and the power of connected movement to breath to heal ourselves. And I went on a really deep spiritual and self-love journey. And just everything that I've learned along the way, I just knew that I had to spread this information so that other women could, you know, have the same experience and finally find peace with food and their body and their relationships and their whole life, because we're all meant to live our life to our fullest potential.
Mm-hmm. And I love the concept of people going through struggle. And then after they go through that struggle, they say, I want to help people that has went through what I went through or is going through what I have went through, because you have that experience, you have that knowledge base where you can guide people in the right direction. If you had someone during high school years, right? Because that was when everything had started. What would that have done for you? Would that have impacted your life differently, would you say? Would you have reached a higher place or a fuller life in high school rather than waiting until college, finding a nutrition class, and then saying, all right, this is what I was meant to do?
Totally. And I think that's why it's so important for people to have people supporting them and guiding them. And I think sometimes people see investing in a coach or a mentor as something ridiculous or like, why would I spend all that money on that?
Mm-hmm.
You know? But I had to go on this journey for years and years and years until I finally got to a place where I was happy in my own skin and was able to manifest everything that I have in my life now. So definitely if I had somebody just guiding me and mentoring me and giving me the answers instead of me having to search for them on my own for years, it definitely would have helped me get there sooner, which is why I do what I do and why I encourage women to invest in themselves. Because, you know, if you're not happy, if you're not healthy, nothing else really matters. Like, going out is not going to matter because you're not present enough with your body and yourself to really enjoy those moments. If you aren't nourishing your body, you're going to feel low in energy and motivated. So honestly, nothing matters unless you are healthy and happy. So I definitely think it's worth it to invest in something like that.
Mm-hmm. Where do you think the mindset of negativity starts to stem from? I know in high school, there's a lot of peer pressure. I know there's a lot of grouping with different social aspects of I'm with the cool kids, I'm with the nerds, or whatever you want to group them or categorize them as. Is that where the negativity begins? Or is it maybe a mixture? School, home, personal life. There can be so many different aspects that come to negativity. Maybe we could talk about your experience, or maybe if you have examples from working with clients, where does that negativity typically stem from?
So our subconscious mind really develops from the time we're 10 years old, around there. So it definitely starts in childhood. However, it is that you grew up just watching your parents, how they treat each other, how they treat you, how they treat themselves is so impactful to your mindset and how you view the world. So I think it's really important to start there and to look there and just ask yourself questions like, how did my parents treat themselves? How did they treat me? What kind of mindset did they have? And what did they, from me watching them, like what did I take on from them? And I truly, truly believe it starts there. And then, of course, later on in life, if you go through trauma or you're bullied in high school or in middle school or whatever it is, your surroundings are really important because they really make you who you are. And I think the older you get, once you're more aware of this, you start to choose differently. And you start to ask yourself, am I being surrounded by the type of people that I want to become? And then you can slowly start to change that mindset. But it definitely, definitely develops from childhood for sure.
Okay. I love the idea of what you take on. For example, if you're in a negative household, you can take on that negativity, or you can say, I experienced that negativity. I don't want to have that to be my life. There's a story of a father, he was an alcoholic, and he had a wife, two boys. And the father would come home, drink, yell, berate the wife, hit the wife, and the boys would see that. Later on, the boys grow up, and we have one boy who follows in the footsteps of his father. He too is an alcoholic. He too comes home, drinks, yells, berates his wife. Now, when asked, why does he do this? He says, because my father did this. But then there's the other son, the other boy. He is a successful owner of a business. He has a wife he loves, kids he loves, and he doesn't drink. And when people ask, why is he so successful? How was he able to accomplish this in his life? And he said, because I watched my father. He saw a different outlook in the situation. He said, my father is destructive. This alcohol is being destructive to him. It's negative. I don't want to follow in those footsteps. So there's a fine line when we take on what we see, because yes, children do learn from their environment and the behaviors around them. So a child can see something as negative, but then say, I want to stay away from that. They can also say, I see something negative. Oh, I guess that is what I'm supposed to be doing. Do you find that more people do the negative thing because it's just a societal norm? Or do you find that people say, okay, this negativity is not what I want in my life. I'm going to change for the better?
That's a really good question. And I love that example because, what happens to you is not your fault, but how you choose to go about it is your responsibility. So you could either choose to continue on the same cycles and patterns as, your parents, your grandparents, or you could choose to break the cycle and be the person who chooses differently. I think nowadays more and more people are starting to wake up to this concept. I think in the past, like with our parents' generation, I feel like they weren't even aware. And I think you can't really break the cycle without having awareness in the first place and being conscious of it, because some people just walk around just not aware. And I think that's why these cycles repeat. I think the second you find that awareness and you're conscious of it, then you can decide to choose differently.
I'm a yogi too. I studied Bikram for many years, and that's hot yoga. And then I go to regular yoga at my gym. What I have found, it raised my awareness where I'm being more aware who I am, my body, my mind. And from that point, when I started doing yoga, I was thinking, I'm a male. Yoga's for women. I shouldn't be doing yoga. But the aspect of yoga is not so much about male and female. It's so much about you, who you are today. And every single day is a journey. You might be doing the same poses every single day, but every day is a unique, different journey. Some days I would go into Bikram and I would do amazing. 90 minutes, I'm doing the poses the deepest I can do them. The next day, I'm on the ground in 10, 20 minutes. It's just too hot. I'm just not present. And what I have found is if my mind wasn't there, if I'm thinking about, oh, I have to do this, I'm thinking about, oh, this is happening in my life, my mind was stopping me from performing at my best, my peak. Do you find that not having that awareness of the mind is causing people to have more difficult lives?
Totally. And I actually had a therapist on my podcast, and she was telling me, I'll never forget this. She told me that 95% of people are walking around dissociated from their bodies most of the day. So most of us are not being present in our bodies. And if you're not present in your body and you're constantly distracted by the outer world and social media and work and, the people in your life that you love and just everything around you, especially in our world today, we have constant distraction, constant stimulation. But I really believe that true healing and true awareness begins in the body. So if not present in our body and we're just stuck in our minds, I really don't think we can live life to our fullest potential or really be our happiest selves.
Hmm. My journey was starting to do yoga. I would watch like a YouTube video of meditation, and it'll be like a 5-minute video where they have like the Zen music playing. And I would just look at the screen, and I'm just supposed to look at the screen, look at the image, and not allow any image or any thoughts to go through my mind. Now, in the beginning, it's very challenging. My mind just
Mhm.
wants to rush. Everything is so busy. The world is so busy. We have our smartphones. There's always a new tweet. There's always a new notification. There's always something that keeps me away from this moment. And I
Mhm.
found that being more mindful, being able to slow things down when I choose, because sometimes I do like the hustle and bustle. I'm not going to lie. I like it. But sometimes I want to be perfectly still. I want to be present in this moment. And I can do it with a snap of my finger, but it is not easy. It took years for me to get that way. It took so much work, and many people don't want to do work. Many people don't want to do the work for change. They
Mhm.
want easy, they want what's comfortable for them, so they don't push. How do you get people to push when they don't really want to do the work?
I think it's about having your why. So, it has to be so much more than just, I just want to meditate or I just want to do yoga because I feel like I should or I have to.
Mm,
I think you really have to find a deeper reason behind why you want to. So, why do you want to do yoga? To be more present. Why do you want to be more present? To be able to, be in my body more and connect more with my intuition. Why do you want to connect more with your intuition? So that I can follow in my purpose. Why do you want, just like go in this cycle of just asking yourself why until you really find that deeper reason behind why you're doing it. And I think every morning when you wake up and you focus on your why, it gets easier and easier and easier to do it.
mhm. In a sense, I think people are afraid to find out the truth. I think they're
Mhm.
afraid to find out their why, because then it really is going to tell them who they are. And many
Mhm.
people are afraid of their true self. They don't
Mhm.
want to come to the realization that I'm not doing everything I can today to be in a better place tomorrow. So I'm just going to pretend that I'm doing the best I can. I think that's dangerous in the sense of you have so much more potential, but you're not putting it on the table, right? You're not going after it. So you just kind of throw it to the wayside, and you just allow what happens in your life, the circumstances, to come your way. But then people are not happy with those circumstances. People are upset that they have this life. They're upset they have this relationship. They're upset that they had this history of their family, negativity, or upbringing, and they curse themselves and they say, my life is so hard. My life is so difficult. And I'm not going to sit here and say that your life is not challenging. I could be, well, my life is more challenging than yours. And I can give examples after examples of why my life is challenging. That is not helpful. I
Mhm.
find that people have a unique journey. And of course, those challenges are going to be different for every single person. You had a
Mhm.
different experience in high school than I did. And I'm not going to sit here and say, well, you should be this person because I went through this in high school and it's much worse, right? I can't just say what I think is worse to you because you have a different set of building blocks that brought you to where you are. And those challenges help you actually. So those challenges are going to build you to better. Imagine
Mhm.
if you didn't have those challenges in high school, where would you be today? Many people don't think about that. Many people just say, well, I had these challenges, and then they're upset, and then they don't take any action to fix them.
Mhm.
So, my question to you is, we have these challenges in life. People make their challenges to be the biggest they can be in their mind. How can we help people see that a challenge is a challenge to help you grow rather than to stop you in your tracks?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'll say that high school was just the beginning of my challenges. So I've gone through, a lot, like anything you name it, probably I've gone through.
Mhm,
But I'm really grateful for everything that I've gone through because I wouldn't be the person I am today. I wouldn't
mhm,
have the knowledge I have today. I wouldn't be able to be a healer and help other people heal if I didn't go through these things myself. I never coach anyone on something that I haven't personally gone through myself and come out of on the other side. So I just really would not be living in my purpose and appreciate my life as much as I do without having seen the other side and having all of those breakdowns. So I truly think that every breakdown leads to a breakthrough. And, that's just life. In order to have good, you have to have bad. In order to even know what it is that you want out of life, you have had to experience the bad. You wouldn't know what type of relationship you want if you didn't experience a bad relationship.
Mm.
Or you wouldn't have this desire to make a lot of money if you never experienced lack and not having money to buy the things that you want to buy. So I think as humans, we glamorize not going through struggle. Imagine how boring life would be, honestly, if
Yeah.
we never went through struggle. If everything was just perfect, we'd be bored. We'd never have to strive towards anything. We'd never have goals. And that's honestly the reason that we're here, is to go through lessons, to grow, to evolve, and to keep growing as we go through these challenges. Those challenges will never stop.
Mhm.
We never reach a point in life where we're like, okay, never going to experience any challenge ever
Yeah.
again. Cool, everything's perfect. That's not life, and it's not like that for anybody. So I think once you accept that and you look at challenges as a reason to move forward and keep growing and evolving and having more breakthroughs, then you can really start to appreciate those moments.
Hmm. And I think it is that fairy tale ending type of mentality, right? We look at the end and we want that so much, right? So we get there and then we're like, well, what do we do now? And so we get that perfect life, we get our dream body, our dream mind, but what do we do next? And I think many people don't look past their most ambitious goal. They say, this is
Mhm.
my most ambitious goal, but they don't look past it, right? So if we look in the scheme of years, what's your 5-year goal, 10-year goal, 20-year goal? Where do you want to be at the age of 65? That is going to help you say, okay, there's going to be a progression in life. It might take you years in order to do one task. That's okay. That's your journey. But at the same time, as long as you're making progress, we are making good progress. And many people are so fast to judge someone if they make slow progress. Tortoise and the hare, same thing. We can make slow progress and still be victorious in the end. It's not so much about getting there quick, it's more about, can we get there? Will we get there? And we live in a society where everything is so instant. Give it to me
Mhm.
now, please. I want it right now. I want peace. I want my food. We go to fast food. It's called fast food. Give me the fast food. I'm hungry. My stomach is growling. I have a problem. My problem is I'm hungry. I have a quick fix. Those quick
Mhm.
fixes are not necessarily good. It's like a band aid. And if you have a deep wound, you want to go to the hospital, maybe have to get surgery or have a doctor check it out, right? Those deep problems are just being covered up by our cell phones, our TVs, right? We try to avoid the things that make us stressful. We are living in a world full of stress. How can people learn to de stress in a chaotic world?
Yeah, I will say that the reason most of us are comfortable in the chaos and the stress, especially if you've grown up with a lot of trauma, it just feels more comfortable and more safe. And that's why it's like, even though most of us, probably all of us, want a better life, we stay stuck because it's more comfortable where we are and it feels safer.
Mm,
And growth and all of those things that we want are a little bit uncomfortable, and they don't feel as safe maybe to someone who's lived a life of pain and chaos. So I think that is the reason that it's more comfortable to stay where we are and complain and blame other people for why we're not where we want to be. But I think it's honestly just doing small things every day to reconnect with yourself and your body. So even just for 2 minutes a day, if you just start there, 2 minutes a day, closing your eyes, putting one hand over your heart, one over your belly, and just breathing and connecting with your breath and with your body and with yourself, and just tuning inward, I think, is the number one way to disconnect from all of the stress and the craziness, is just coming home to yourself. So even if it's just for 2 minutes a day, starting there, closing your eyes, doing a simple breath. That's it.
That's interesting because we see our comfort zone as something as good. This is good, right? I'm comfortable and things are working in my favor. I don't have to work too hard. Everything is just here around me. Do people see past their comfort zone? Meaning we're comfortable now, but will we be comfortable later? Right. So let's say they have a job, they make $50,000 a year, right? The price of inflation is going up. So now that $50,000 is going to have less buying power. Can they still maintain that comfortable life? It's going to be challenging for them to maintain their lifestyle that they have created with $50,000 if their dollar doesn't buy as much. So, of course, we have to understand that the comfort zone is not where we want to be long term. We want to make sure that we are pushing ourselves past the comfort zone because it's not going to help us in the long run.
Yeah, no, for sure. I totally agree. And I think it's important to just even ask yourself those questions. Like, what is the consequence of me staying where I'm at in a year from now, in 5 years from now, in 10 years? What is my life going to look like if I don't push myself to grow and to heal? Again, it all comes back to awareness, like coming back to reality, connecting back with yourself and asking yourself those really important questions that might make you uncomfortable, but you just have to do it.
Yeah. And there's just so much to it, right? But we have to figure out a way to help people, right? So I do that through my coaching. I do mindset coaching. I'm helping people with their mind. Do you have any programs or anything that you do to help people coach them to a better mindset, a better life?
Yeah, so I offer one-on-one coaching. I really help people heal by healing their relationship with themselves first on a mind, body, and soul level. And I really, really believe that once you heal your relationship with you and you're connected with your highest self, that's when everything honestly becomes effortless, because once you love yourself enough, you won't settle for less. You are going to do those things that are uncomfortable to get you to where you want to be. My coaching is really focused on healing your relationship with you. And then we can start to look at healing your relationship with food, with other people, with your job, and with your body, and with your life in general. So I do offer one-on-one coaching for that. And then I just launched a group coaching program called Aligned. It is an 8-week long live group coaching program to help you align with your highest self on a mind, body, and soul level so that you can manifest the life of your dreams and stop settling for just an okay life, but go after an amazing life.
Definitely. And we have to start to transition our mind or the way we think to get more in our life, not because we have to, but because we want to, right? We should want good things in our life. We should want to be successful. We should want to not have a life full of negativity, of hardship and challenge that are unnecessary. Many people take the hard road because they're unwilling to put in the work to make it easy for their life right now. We have to take the challenge head on. And once we have that challenge and we have accomplished it, then we can say, we did this, we accomplished this, we can keep pushing forward. And of course, the group coaching program is going to be helpful for anyone who is looking for a congregation of people coming together with the one mindset or the one thought of, I want to make my life better. And then to also listen to different people and their stories and their backgrounds, and then understanding that I can do this too. Because the belief, if I can believe in myself, or if I can't believe in myself, I need someone to believe in me. We only need one person to believe in ourselves. And when you have a group of people who are working together to make things possible, that belief is going to be easy to find. So tell people where they can find you and where they can sign up for this coaching.
Yeah, so you can find me at Rachel_KATZ_ on all social media platforms. And my link in my bio will direct you to my website, my podcast. My podcast is called The Full Life by Rachel. And also to just everything that I offer, my one-on-one coaching, my group coaching program, it's all there. Or you can also go to thefulllifebyrachel.com.
All right, perfect. Rachel Katz, everyone. All right, everyone, thank you for watching the interview with Rachel Katz and myself. Of course, if anyone's willing to work with Rachel, all her info is in the description box below. Again, if you're looking for coaching or just some motivation, some advice, you can always head over to revenconcepts.com. There's so much resources that you can go and get at no cost to you. Now, if you want to invest in yourself and get some coaching, of course, I'll be there for that journey, and I'm excited for anyone who is ready for that journey, because that journey might be scary at first, but once you go on it and you're walking that path, you start to see the beauty in it. Whenever you're ready to see the full beauty of life, head over to revenconcepts.com and we can get you started on that journey. Of course, make sure to like, comment, share this video with your friends and family, because there's so many golden nuggets in coaching in session where you can go somewhere else and you can get these nuggets, but we do it easy, right? We bring the coaches to you. We bring that wisdom to you, all under one roof. And as long as you are making forward progress into your mindset, your life is going to follow. I will see everyone on the next episode of Coaching in Session. Until then, everyone take care.